So we will try to make that specific layout in our Android Studio. So what I will do, I will keep that our previous work, that is the linear layout that we have worked around on the scroll and everything. I will keep it like that, and then here I try to create a new layout, a new layout resource file. So what I did again, I right click on that particular layout folder in our resource, and then I say that layout resource file, and then I say that our again, look at that. When I say capital I, it is not acceptable. So it is input underscore fields underscore layout. I'm just giving them a name so I can select that one. And again here, what root element you want to be here. By default it is constrained, but we need a linear, so we can change that particular thing as well. So we say that we want the root element should be a linear layout. It will be a main resource, okay, fine, and then it is a layout, go into the layout directory, fine. So we click OK, it will create that particular specific empty layout for me. And as I told you that we will have its orientation vertical, not orientation. What? Where? It's a linear layout.
Here, Android up top, there's already
Ah,
stated.
okay, it is already vertical. It's already, because that particular specific property is already selected or attribute selected, so it does not show me in that list. Okay, so it's already there, so we don't need to set it anymore. Fine. So let's go back. We want to create, as I told you, that we have a linear layout which has two components, which is horizontal. Again, we have a linear layout here which take two components, input field and the text area, and then we have another third linear layout which has two buttons inside it. So what we can do, we can create a linear layout inside. Again, we can say that width should be match parent, height should be the wrap content, and inside we have, first thing is that we have a text view. We say wrap content, and then we can say text is equal to name, and then the second element, that is an edit text. Edit text, we say that wrap content, and we can put a hint here what it will need to be given by the user, what input need to be given by the user, and then we can say that weight property, set the weight property to 0.1. It will try to cover whatever you do. If only one component in that layout has the weight property, whatever that value is, it will try to cover the whole remaining part. Okay, and look at that, as I told you that it's not very much. First of all, I want to put some what you can say that padding at the now I'm putting the padding at the linear layout level. So within that particular linear layout, it will put some 5 dp padding. Fine, and then I also want the space between this name and input field. So maybe we can put the margin right on this one or margin left on the edit text. Okay, so again it totally depends on how you are going to do that. So we have a margin right. I say that put a 10 dp. So look at that, it is 10 dp away. So now it's a little bit nice. Okay, so as you know that in the second one we have this text should be password and this hint should be password as well, and then we are having the same. So why not we just copy paste it here, and then we change these values, password, and then here we are saying that password. So we have those values together here. That's fine. And then we have another third linear nested layout. Okay, again match parent and wrap content, and then here we have two buttons. So maybe I can put some thing here, that is the padding. Okay, and here I put the padding 10 dp. Okay, so it will leave some space in between those, and then here I say that wrap content, and if we look at those buttons, we have login and cancel. So we can put the first button text is equal to login, and maybe you can say that it is not very much visible. We can change the text size here, text size 20 sp, and then we try to use the same button, but of course with different cancel. And as we want to make them of the same sizes and cover the whole screen. So what we can do, we can put a weight property here, weight property, maybe look 8, but that weight property should have the same value. Okay, so now look at that, we have created that particular specific layout that we wanted to create from here. 3, we have a top level linear layout. Inside we have one linear layout which is representing the name and the name input, the second linear layout for the password and password input, and the third linear layout for the 2 buttons to hold it. I mean, of course, right now we are not implementing any backgrounding or something like that. Is it fine? So now we also need to work on that particular grid layout. For the grid layout, let me see if I have some image components. I must have. So let me see it. Okay, so if I have some image resources, so we can play with those images. Yeah, we have certain resources here. Okay, so let me copy only one of them, Blastoise, and look, I just locate that resource, right click on that. I mean, I'm copying it. I copy that particular, and I come to my Android Studio. Here I right click on my drawable and say that I want to paste. When I say paste, it is asking me where you want to paste in the because it is a normal drawable, it's an image size, not the 24 pixel version, so it is the normal size. So I said that okay here. Now it is asking me, do you want to change that name of that resource file? If it has any capital letters, it is not going to work. I will show you. Okay, so I just go there and put, look at that, that particular specific image file is added in that particular drawable resource. Fine. So again, because we are going to work with another layout, so let me add. Okay, first thing, we need to check, I mean, everything is working fine. So instead of having that particular main layout, we are saying that we want to have that particular input fields layout. And if we try to run our application now again, so now it will not show me the previous layout that we have worked on. It will show me this new layout with the name, password, and everything. And we can click on those buttons, but the point is we have not implemented any background click event handler, so that's why it is not going to do anything over here. And look at that, we can give the input, we can give the password 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Again, look at that, it is showing me the, it should show me the static, not show me the password itself. So that's, again, we have different input methods inside the edit text that we will be looking later on, but this is, yeah. Okay, so we can see that only changing this set content view with a different layout that we have created, it will show a different layout. And we can change that particular at runtime on the click event set content view with a different layout. It will change that particular specific content view, change particular layout. Okay, so that's what we have here. And then now we will create another new layout. Again, a layout resource, we can say that grid underscore layout, that we want to work with that. And we can also have a grid layout as a top level. Okay, So when we say that, because now our root is grid, so we can simply say that this one. So if we try to align them, we have the blastoise, fine. So let me do this thing here, fine. So we have match parent, so we have rows, layout, rows, no, row count. We need to set the row count, the maximum number of rows to create when automatically positioning the children. So row count, how many rows will be there? I say 4, or maybe I say 6. And then I say that column count, how many columns will be there? If I say that I want 3 columns, okay. So now consider this particular whole screen is actually divided into 3 rows and 6 rows and 3 columns. So now let me put a button here, okay, button, okay, yeah, but okay, so it's actually it is what you can say, when you put a button, it automatically saying that, automatically putting it in the first row and the first column. Let me keep it like that. That's interesting. And then I put next. Look, it is going to the next one. And then if I say that I want to put a text here, then we can say that, I mean, we have those properties. Now we don't need to give that particular layout width and height, because according to that particular size of that row and like that field, you can say that cell, accordingly it is adjusting itself. What else we can do? We can say that button. Let me see if I look. When I giving the bigger one, it is automatically increasing that particular specific size. But let us stick to that one. Okay. So we also say that here that row span, layout row span 2. Right now we have, okay, so let me copy these. So look at that. That button is covering actually the 2 rows. Understand? So if I say something like that, no, this one. So if I say that layout or height is equal to match parent, no, it's not going to be the. I want to make it a little bit higher, maybe 100. Yeah, 100 dp, or maybe I say 90 dp. Look, actually it is covering. If I just remove this one, row span, yes, it is making it 90, but actually it is in the row number 1. So that is, again, if I just put an image view here, image view, again we can just simply say source. We have given that blastoise. So look at that, accordingly it is just covering the size. But if I say that I want to make that particular size is width 50 dp, and maybe I can make it 100 or 100 by 100. Okay, and then I can say that let me make it 200. Okay, and I also make the height is equal to 200 dp, and then I also say that it should contain like row span 2, and I also say that column span 2, and then I put my button here again. Look at that, because it is in the what you can say that third row, third column, so it is does not covering the previous, because already covered it that. So if I just go and try to make that one 4 columns, so look at that. It is covering 2 rows and 2 columns. Understand? Is it clear? So that's in the grid layout, in the tabular form. If you want to show some data, that's how you can play with that. The main thing is inside that particular layout, you need to give the row count and the column count, how many columns are there, how many rows are there, and accordingly these components will go start from the first row, first column, second row, first row, second column, and so on. They will continue to place itself according to that. We can also position them. For example, maybe I want to say that a row layout row is equal to 4. So look at that. It go to the layout number 4, and then I say that column layout column is equal to 2. So look, it's coming around here. Fourth row, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fourth row and second column, and now these are the empty ones. If we want to make that particular specific thing to go before that one, let's see if it is working or not. Okay, so we can say that go to the row number 2, okay, and column number 2. It is covering the 2 rows, so it does not go the column number 2. Maybe I say column number 3. So it is like this is okay. That column should be starting with 0. That's another another thing. 0 column, the index value start with 0. So that's why I'm a little bit confusing that what's happening over there. So if we say row number 2, at least it's 0, 1, 2. Second row and second column. Isn't it should be here somewhere? Second row. Okay, 0, 1, 2. If I make it 1, then it will be here. So we can even position a specific component at a specific location. We can set that one. If we are not giving, then it will automatically go with 0 row, 0 column, 0 rows first column, 0 row second column, and so on. If those columns are finished, it will go to the next row and so on, putting everything in a order. That is our grid layout. Of course, we have not done anything interesting here. I just show you that how it is going to work. Is it fine? Any questions? No? So let's have some practice around that, and let me finish my video.